Okay, I'm going to show you how to do this engine parts in Rhino assignment, which the purpose of this assignment is just to build more practice in most of the commands that you'd need in Rhino. So you need to download this document, this PDF document on the website, and at the end turn in something that looks like this. Turn in 3 views that look like this. I'll show you how to do that as well. So we're going to make a con rod or a connecting rod, which is, common engine component. Then we're going to make this valve thing. Then we're going to make this piston thing. So I'm going to just go through these steps with Rhino, and the detailed instructions are documented in this page here, this PDF file, which I'm going to move to the side here in my secret little extra monitor I got there. So, okay, I got Rhino up already. So first thing you want to do is go File, New, Small Objects, Inches, Open. Then you need to change the grid right away, because this is a I think it's a 1/4 inch grid. You could kind of tell by drawing a line from the origin here, and you can look at the bottom status bar at the very bottom of Rhino, and right now it says 1 inch, and so it looks like these are 1/4 inch minor grid lines and 1 inch major grid lines. So we want to, for this drawing, we want to change that. So I'm going to escape out of that and then go up here to File, Properties, Grid. I want more grid lines, so I'm going to go to 2000. I want minor grid lines at every 0.0625. That's a 1/16 of an inch. And also set the snap spacing at 0.0625. All right. So now, just as a test, we could type line and go from the origin here, and you can see that the grid is smaller now. If you look down at the status bar at the bottom right now, it says 1/4 inch. So the minor grid lines are at 0.0625, which is a 1/16, and the major grid lines are at a 1/4 inch. So let's see, this line right here that I'm drawing, if you look down at the bottom, it's 1 inch. All right, so what you want to do here is import, okay, not open new, but import this engine solids template, which I downloaded from the website already. So you need to download that onto your desktop, or here I have it in the downloads folder, and open that and say OK to accept all of these default settings. And basically what I've done here is I've imported a flat AutoCAD drawing into this 3-dimensional Rhino tool, and the reason for that is it's easier to draw certain stuff in AutoCAD, and so it's a good skill to be able to go back and forth between these different tools. Okay, all of this stuff comes in selected, so I'm just going to do I'm going to make sure I have grid snap-on down here at the bottom, and I'm just going to do a move command, type move, and I want to go from the center of this thing here, and then the second point I'm just going to key in 0, 0, 0, enter. So basically I've moved the connecting rod to the green and red lines, which is 0, 0, 0, just while I'm working on that particular part. All right, so the thing to realize in the top Rhino view here is what we're looking at is a 3-view ortho of this connecting rod. So this part where I'm wiggling my cursor here, let's call that the front view, and this will be down here will be the bottom view, and this will be the end view. But this is just a flat 3-view ortho. We want to convert this, or actually use this as a guide to build a 3-dimensional model. All right, so I'm going to hit escape just to unselect everything that's that's been selected. If you look over here in the perspective view, I have these green lines that I've identified for you. This is the body of the connecting rod, and we want to do an extrusion of a certain thickness, and the thickness is basically going to be the length of this line right here. You see in the ortho. So that's where the grid comes in. So you look here at this line, and you can see that it's a 1/2 inch, because it's 8 1/16 inches, or using the minor grid lines, or 2 1/4 inches using the major grid lines. It's a 1/2 inch long by using the grid. So then we'll do an extrusion. So what you do is you select all of these lines, and you have to, these green lines, and you have to hold down Shift for that. And there's a green arc at the top, and it gives us the selection window here because there's 2 objects in the same spot. So we want to make sure we select the green arc. Okay, so we've got basically the perimeter of this thing selected. At this point, it's good to go Edit, Join, and you can click this again to make sure that it's all selected together. So once again, if you click, it should select everything. So what we've done is we've joined all of these curves, all of these flat curves, and then when we extrude them, the resulting surfaces will also be joined. So that's why I did that. So now it's time for a extrusion. So we'll go solid. Okay, there's 2 extrude commands, one under surface and one under solid. Make sure you're using the right one. Right, so we want the one under solid, extrude planar curve, straight. And then drop down to the front view, and just using the grid snap and looking at the number at the bottom, the Y value, and at the very down here, the Y value. Look at that, and when you see a 1/2 inch with the grid snap on, right? Grid snap is in bold. Click there, and we've extruded it. Now, you can't really tell in the perspective view yet, so we need to change to rendered. So go over here to rendered, or actually ghosted most of the time. There's ghosted. And then you can see just by kind of looking at it with the way it's shaded that it's solid. That is, there's a surface along the top. Another thing you can do is you can select it and go up to Analyze, Mass Properties, Volume, or you could just type Volume. And if you get a volume, if you get a number up here in the this command text box thing, if you get like here I have 5.42, if you get a number, then it means that this is a fully enclosed volume, which is what we want. So that's good. So I'll escape out of that. All right, more features. So we want to add more object features. So I'm going to do this cylindrical thing right here. So I'm going to go up here and do cylinder. So it's at the center is here, the outside is there, and the height, by looking at this end view here, I can tell that it's 1 inch. So I'll extrude this 1 inch in the front view. And then I'm going to click it and drag it down like that. All right. So we have these 2 intersecting objects, this one and this one. And I'm going to union those. So go to the solid, union, click the 2 things we want to union and press enter, and it does this little flashy thing, and then you can click it and see that it's been unioned. You can also go up here or you can just type volume and see if you get a number. We do 6.62. It's bigger than 5 point something from before, so which we would expect. All right, so I want to punch a hole all the way through this thing, so I'm going to go back to this cylinder command and draw a cylinder using the template for my and snap using the template that I imported, the AutoCAD DWG that I imported, and I'm using that as a guide, and then I'm just using the grid snap to know how big to make things. So there's my radius, and drop down to the front view and make this cylinder just extra long. Good. And then drag it down like that. Okay, so that it fully, passes through the entire con rod. Okay, then do a difference. So solid difference. Going to be this, enter, minus this, enter, and it does this difference and punches a hole in the thing. All right, now moving up here to the top, I want an outside cylinder of this length, which is 3/4 of an inch, just by looking at the grid. So we go over here and we do another cylinder this big, and I want it to be 3/4 of an inch, and then click it and drag it down 1/8 of an inch so that it's centered in the body. Then do a union, this thing and this thing, enter. I like to click it to make sure that everything I'm expecting to turn yellow actually turns yellow, so that I know the operation succeeded. Then we need to punch a hole, so we go back and make a cylinder here at this inner radius and make it extra long. Then drag it down and then do a difference. So it's this stuff, enter, minus this stuff, enter, and you get this thing, this action going on here with a hole in it. Okay, then see this red stuff? I drew that in the AutoCAD drawing so that you could use it to cut out these reliefs in the side of the body here that make this body into kind of an I-beam, an I-shaped cross section. So we want to make an object or a tool is really what we're doing. We're using these red lines to make a shape that we can take a difference with later. So we collect all those guys and then go edit, join, and then escape. Click it again to make sure that everything you need is there. Okay, then I'm going to click it, then do a solid extrude pointer curve, straight, make it this thick, and I know that because it's this line. It corresponds to this line in the end view. Okay, here's my shape. I'm going to drag it up. Okay, then I'm going to click it and do a mirror about, I could do it here. Do a mirror. Okay, then I have this thing going on. You can see these things, these little things, these little, I call them tools. So now do a difference. Solid difference, this thing minus this thing and this thing. So it was this thing, it was this body here, then enter, and then the other two bodies, and then enter. Follow the prompts. So I have these little slots in the side there. Looks like an I-beam. All right, so almost done. So we have to cut these two holes here, and then split the body of this thing, and we're done. So just looking at these, at the end view here, I can see these two holes. So I'm going to draw those in the front view window. All right, just keep this all straight here. Right up here in the top view, I'm looking at a 3-view ortho, but I want to kind of line that up with the actual 3-dimensional volume in the front view. and use the grid to draw these cylinders. So now I can draw a cylinder here just using the grid, right? Just eyeballing this with the, or using the grid, but referring visually, just looking up here to the top view on what for the diameter. So there, I went right there. Then the length, you got to come up here to the top view and drag this thing like that. Okay, take that and mirror it about 2 points on the green line. Okay, then select the new object. I have to hold down Shift. I'm going to turn ortho on because I want to drag these up straight and I want them to move. Drag them up so that they're fully penetrating this body here, the main connecting rod thing. Okay, then it's time for a difference. So solid difference. This thing, enter. This thing, enter. And now I have holes in this. I can look through those holes. Okay, then it's time for a plane to cut this thing in half. So surface, plane, corner to corner. Draw a plane down here in the front view that's just covers up this whole thing. And there's the plane. Okay, then do a solid Boolean split. This thing, enter. This thing, enter. And you can click this thing to see that it actually separated. And now you can click the plane and hit press delete. And there's our finished thing. Okay? So let's see. Let's do this valve thing. So I'm going to grab everything and do a move. And I'm going to pick this point, and with ortho and grid snap on, I'm just going to move this down to moving everything down to the green line, just because I like to be centered around the green line, or the green and the red line, the 0, 0, 0 origin. All right, so this is an easy part. You just pick these red lines that I've already drawn for you. Let's see, just the red ones. Got to hold down Shift. Just the red lines. It's just the perimeter around half of this thing. Go up here and go Edit, Join, Escape. I like to click it again and make sure that everything is actually joined. Then we're going to do a revolve, surface, revolve, chart of axis. It wants 2 points on this center line axis. And then the prompt is 0, start angle 0, which is okay, and then the revolution angle 360 is okay. So just press enter twice, and there's our object right there. All right, that was easy. And okay, so I'm gonna select everything again and do a move and grab. I'm going to grab the center of this. I'm going to turn off ortho and drag the center of this to the origin. So I just moved everything so that the piston orthographic drawing is at the origin. So this is, you're looking at a 2-view ortho here. This is like the side view right here and the bottom view right there. So we're going to do another revolve. So here's a trick. See, there's a bunch of little red lines that are kind of ziggly in here that are, you got to make sure you get all of them or it'll mess up. So Rhino has a tool that you can select objects by color. And it's asking you for a sample object, basically. I'll pick this, press enter. Now it's selected everything that's red. But there's also red things over here that I was using that I don't need. So I'm going to hold down Control and draw a window around those to deselect those. Okay, that was Control and then a window drag. Okay, so I just have these red lines. They were red. Of course, they're yellow because they're selected now. But I've got these red lines all the way around. I'm going to go Edit, Join. I'm going to Escape and click it again to make sure everything's joined. It looks like I have all of them. All right, then it's time for a surface revolve. Choose 2 points on the y-axis. Start angle 0, enter. Revolution angle 360, enter. There's my volume. I'll hit escape, select this new surface thing, and then just type volume just to make sure that I get a number. And I do, I got 11 cubic inches, so it's a fully enclosed volume. If it's not a fully enclosed volume, your Boolean operations will fail. All right, so I need to do this funny geometry with these cylinders here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw. First, I'm going to draw a line to measure how long the cylinder needs to be. I want it to end right here, or start there, and then end in here in the middle. So down at the status bar that says 3.75 inches. So that's how long my cylinder needs to be. So I'm going to go over here and go cylinder. The center is here, the outside. There's a hidden line here that you can barely see because of the line type scale, but it's right here. So there's the diameter. Then the length, I'm going to move my mouse down to the front window, and then I'm going to key in 3.75. There it is. Okay, then grab this guy turn on ortho, and drag it down so that it starts and ends inside this wall of the object. You can see that better in the perspective view. You can see that the cylinder sort of ends inside the wall. Okay, now do a union. Solid, union, this thing and this thing, enter. There it is. Now it's union. All right, then the cylinder doesn't go all the way through. It has this 1-inch gap in here. So I'm just going to draw a big block. So solid, box, corner to corner height. Come in here, draw a box, just like about there. Okay, then drop down to the okay, I messed up here. So yeah, you want the box here. So solid, corner to corner height. Sorry, I want the box in here. I want it around this. I want it to cover up this circle. Then drop down to the front view and type in an inch. I want that. Click it, drag it so that it's there. I want this. This is what you want. So get that going, and then do a difference. Solid, difference, this thing, enter, this thing, enter, and it cuts it out like that. Cuts out the cylinder. All right, I want to make a hole through the center, so it's back to cylinder. The center is here. The radius is here, the length is extra long. Click it and drag it up. Then do a difference, solid difference. This thing, enter, this thing, enter. Now I've got a hole through there. All right, then there's what we call these skirts. These lines right around in here, they're a kind of a cutout. They call it geometry in this area down in here. They call it a skirt. So we need to draw a line across the bottom, which I didn't put in the template. Go here to here, okay, then select that new line that I just drew and hold down shift and select that. Go join them, escape. I like to click them again to make sure that they're joined. Okay, I was just pressing escape a bunch of times. All right, take this new thing, go to solid, extrude planar curve, straight, make it extra long, drag it down like that so that you have this kind of intersection going on. Then do a escape out of that, then do a difference. This thing minus this thing, enter, gives you that thing. So now we've made that skirt geometry. All right, the last thing is there's these little oil holes we got to make. So those are, in a piston there's 3 rings. In this piston there's this first 2 rings are compression rings, and then the third ring is an oil ring, they call it. It just, oil passes through little holes and lubricates the sides of the cylinder. This thing is sliding up and down inside. So we need to draw a cylinder here. Okay, a 0.0625 radius would be exactly on the grid. Sometimes when the geometry gets complicated, the Boolean operations will fail, so it's better to make this radius 0.37. Oops, one more time. Okay, center. Radius, I want it to be 0.062 right there. So it's just if you zoom way in, you can see it just barely clears the wall. All right, then the length, make it about so. Okay, then select it, do a polar array. So it's transform array polar. Center point is here. Number of items is, oh, I don't know, 6. The angle to fill is 360. Enter. All right, then do a difference, solid difference. This thing, enter, that, enter. And there's our holes, you see. I probably could have done more holes, but that's fine. You can see there's holes all the way around. Okay, so to turn this in online, I'm going to make another video for that. All right, that's it.